What's up everyone, this is Amy from iTradeAIMS. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you what is on my watch list. So normally on a Sunday I would release a video of my stocks and Forex watch list, but we had a long bank holiday. We took the Monday off as well. Hence I did not make a video, so I'm doing it today. So what we're going to look at is some stocks on one of my watch lists. We're going to look at two of my watch lists. One is the famous stocks, the higher priced ones. We're going to have a look at it quickly, and then after that I will go through my stock list between $1.50 to $20. And the setup that we trade is the setup one. If you don't know what a setup one is, please go through all of the videos in this channel or go to my blog at www.itradeaims.com, or there's a link in the description. Download that book. It's a free book and you will learn a quick way of how to count Elliott waves within 10 seconds, which is the structure of the market. So let's go through the charts. Okay, so what you see is my TradingView platform. As you can see, I have the AIMS wave, the gator, and the box. On the left, we have the weekly chart. On the right, we have the daily chart. That is the secret. So first, we're going to look at some of the stocks, the famous ones. So that's Apple. As you can see, after the pandemic over here, it's just been going up. Price has been going up and up and up. It's gone all the way to 133. AAPL. And it had a couple of the pullback entries based on the LOBOT strategy, or the Hunt 2.0. I'm not sure if you've heard, we have launched another strategy called the LOBOT strategy, specifically used for trading the DAX or trading the US 30 at the New York Open, or DAX at London session. But the same pattern can be applied to daily charts as well, which I released in the simple method, which I shared for free on the channel as well. So I will link that in the description, or it will appear as a card above. So based on that pattern, we had a few entries here, the pullback ones, but at the moment it's not a setup one. We'll just quickly go. As you can see, there was probably an entry here and here on this chart, Adobe or Adobe. AMD had a, let me enlarge this. This was a nice setup over here. So anything above this, you could have bought here at 60, and this trade is still going. So it's 30% up from that point and still going strong. Amazon, as everyone knows, started here on 3rd of April. If you were not sure, around here, then there was a buying spot over here which pulled back, probably gave you the scares, but if you bought it here, it went all the way. And as you can see, I can see some nice lovely pullback entries, specifically here. So when it's broken this box level, it's gone up, come back to it, bounced against this box level and the green line. Your entry could be long here and then hold it, and then there's another pullback here. So you can go long there, and then it went all the way up and there was a strong bear candle. This could have been your exit, and then re-entry here. So quite a lot of opportunity in the stocks, but obviously if you trade that, you will need a lot of money to buy those stocks. This was a pretty good setup one over here. Your entry would be 3rd of August and you'd still be in it. So I'm quickly going through those setups just to see what is going on. Everything is going up on this list. Baba had an entry over here. Let me go back to the double screen. So as you can see, when this type of price action is happening on the daily chart, on the weekly, what you see is a very strong move up followed by a pullback. So your entry could easily have been 257 and your stop will be 240. So about $17 risk, and it's actually gone to 295. So a pretty good trade. Cisco is going down, probably the only one that is going against the direction of the herd. So we have DIS, not pretty good setup. Facebook, we had a signal on this, and based on what's happened over here, the pullback, I don't know if it was this box or was it this pullback. The entry was taken at 261 and we are still holding this. This is just a trade for the paper trading account, just to remind me that we have a trade on this. So what I do is that if I have a setup, I will go through the TradingView platform and I will look for setup ones, and then when I find the setup one, then I would go to my IG.com, the spread betting platform, and I would put a bet over there. So if you do options, you can use the platform, find the setup one, and then take option trades. Or if you trade on other platforms like TD Ameritrade, on Thinkorswim, trading 212 or whatever, and there's another one here, something like 500 plus or something like this. I have no affiliation with them. I haven't used them, but you know, all sorts of different brokers are out there where you can use TradingView with the AIMS indicators to find the setup. Obviously, you need to learn what a setup one is. So I'm giving away the book, the setup book, for free. So if you go to my blog, iTradeAIMS.com, there'll be a tab there. You can actually download the book for free. That's the flagship book. So FTNT, GLD, Google, what's Google doing? As you can see, there's a pullback setup on the weekly chart, which turned into a setup one. So your entry would be 1542 and it's still going up. Pretty strong. Let's quickly go through some of those. IRTC, we had a very good entry on the pullback over here. We had an order, but the order triggered at 183 and now it's hit 225. I think that's where we exited out of it. So MDB, Technology Services again, it had a funny setup, because if you went long here, it would be a good trade, but this would have turned into a loser. And then if you entered again 224, now you're dancing because it's going to do wave 5 up there. mRNA, this was a beautiful setup over here around this region. As you can see, we have this what's it called, a call out for this. So the entry was 19, not 19, the entry was 66 or something over here. As you can see, this this pattern that we have put in there, the risk reward drawing. So the entry would be here and you can target those levels. Let me see, I had shared the idea about this. No, it wasn't shared. I think probably shared only with the members, not on TradingView. So let's go to the next one. Let's go quickly look at Microsoft. Again, a pretty good entry here. Netflix had a setup one. Your entry would be 513 long and you'll be targeting those levels at 560, 567. Nike, we traded from 101 to 112, 111, I think. So the drawing went something like so. Not the drawing, the trade, the target. We establish our target by using targets on one methodology over here. Well, ideally we should have held it all the way to 118, but I think we're out of it now. Okay, Nikola is gone down. NOVT, Nvidia has just been going up really strongly. All of these companies are getting quite a lot of money into these companies. PayPal, obviously, more transactions are going online, so people are investing more in PayPal. The QQQ keeps going up. Roku is nice one, and finally Sam would be happy because I think he bought it 160 or something, then it went down and now it's gone up, making money for him. Okay, what else is there? Okay, we have T-Mobile. That was a really nice setup one over here. So one day you buy it at 107, 2-3 days later it just goes up straight away. So you can still be holding it at 116, but your entry was 107. Tesla, tell me about it. Well, this wasn't 308 at that time. There has been a split on this. I think a five-way split, and so that kind of adjusted all the price. But I think around here the price was 1500 or something around that time. So That's the S split 5. Yeah. So basically, if you had 1 share, now you have 5 shares. It happened on 31st of August. So if you were here, you would have bought it around whatever that price was, and it just keeps going up. So it's going up. So if you had watched the pullback method, this is one of the best pullbacks. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and the last 2 have turned into dojis and inside candles. So your entry easily was here. As you can see, it's translated itself into a setup 1 over here. So you have a sleeping gator, box tight, price closes outside of the box. You go long at the open. Well, actually, if you went long at the open, it would take you to 323, and then it hasn't stopped from over there. So there we go. Twitter, not really exciting. The US 100, which is NASDAQ, obviously that's what all these companies are, the tech companies, they're all going up. US 30 had a bit of a different journey. So it's come all the way there to pre-pandemic levels. The US 500 has gone above the pre-pandemic levels, and we were long from here to here, then over here to here, and I think we took a long here, but exited, so we're not in it anymore. Okay, so this is a beautiful setup 1 on V that we saw the other day. So your entry is 2 or 4, and it goes up. So now I'm going to go to my watch list for $1.50 to 20. This is the one that I like. This is the one that we can invest in. You know, you can have a $20,000, $30,000 account, and you can do this. In UK, obviously, you can, you know, trade all of these with even a £10,000 account, because you can go and do your what's it called, spread betting. So here you see PTGX. So the entry on this would be a little bit of a frustration to start with. So your first entry would be over here, 1778, but the next day or the 2-3 days later, you would exit for $1 loss. But then it does what we call a PC. There's a fake out of the range. Price goes up. You take your entry at 1850, and probably you got out today 2150 or something. So pretty good profit. I can actually take this off my list now because the setup 1 has happened. So that's what I'm going to do. So that's off my list. Now I'll go to the next one. Now, as we can see, we have a wave 3 followed by a 4. So we have a 3 up and a 4 down in tight box. So this still has potential, but the weekly chart is not really looking beautiful. So one can put an order around, you know, 20 or, you know, 21 and see if it goes up. Okay, let's go to the next one. This is not a setup 1 anymore. I'll just delete it. Actually, I should have explained why it's not there. So before I click on something, as you can see, there is a pullback here. The gator is open on the weekly chart I'm looking at, and then it breaks out here, which is the 17th of August, goes up, pulls back, and goes back up. I should have been in it around this price, and we are not. So this is no more valid for us. We'll just find another setup. And don't worry, because, you know, this list, this is so long, and I haven't run the scanner for a week. So if we run the scanner, we'll find more setups and add to it. Right now, I'm maintaining the list to see which ones are the ones that I have not set up or have set up or gone, so we can take them off the list. So this is watch list maintenance. CZZ, it's still creating itself, but it's still going kind of, you know, it hasn't gone up from those levels. So it's dropped, it's come back up. We have a pullback here. Actually, it's, yeah, so it's triggered and it's immediately rejected. This is the pattern that we call the B trap. It usually happens within, so if you look at the weekly chart, whenever there's a pullback, usually, or let's call it sometimes, you'd have this breaking out candle followed by a rejection. So it becomes a B trap. Now this price hasn't gone below this, so it's still kind of valid. So if you're like long from 18 on the pullback, you're still long and there's no problem with it. So we'll keep it on the list. Okay, so this one now, if we have traded it over here or over here, Now, if you went long here on this candle on the 4th of August, on the next candle 2-3 days later when it closed out here, you would take a quick small loss and get out of it, and then you'd get back in on the 20th of August, and now it's hit your target. So we can now take it off our watch list. So there we go, that's gone. VRT, the entry was supposed to be here, but if you look at the weekly chart, it's kind of bounced against the purple, and the trend overall on the weekly is down. So we're going to take that off our list. Bldp, a very strong weekly trend, but at the same time, it has gone from, let's say, $2 all the way to $21 or $22, and now it's pulling back. I don't know if it will go back up. So the time to actually buy this was either over here or here. So we'll just delete that from the list for now. If it pops up on our list again, we probably take it. So this is like a parabolic, very tall move, and now followed by consolidation. So people are holding that stock. I don't really like the way it looks on weekly, because it's too stretched, and the pullback is not really nice. So it could probably go back and test those levels, 22, but I'm not really keen on it. But I'll keep it on the list. FMCI, now it's not really pretty over here. It's gone up. I'm going to delete that from the list. This is just nonsense. Delete it. Okay, so this is kind of broken here, but not continued. As you can see on the weekly, it's not really showing a promising trend. It's not an uptrend. It's not a downtrend. It's kind of sideways. So we delete this because we want our setup ones on the daily chart to be with, on the weekly, we need to see a nice trend up with the 3 alligator lines open. So we will delete this. This is not really a quality setup. Again, as you can see, the price is going down and gone up. Trend is really not clear, and then the setup 1 is not clear. I'm going to delete this as well. What the hell is this? Okay, HMI, I don't even know why is this on the list. Quickly delete it. BCLI, okay, so where we have 1, 2, 3 up and probably waiting for a 4 down. Now, if it goes sideways and the gator is sleeping and there's a tight box in the future, we might get a setup. So I'll probably leave it on the list, but it's not really attractive. CLDR, see, the weekly is not really a clean setup, but if you focus on this bit here from March over here, you can see a strong breakout, clears those levels, pulls back to the green line, really nice, clean, creates a setup here. So you go long at 12 and you stay through it, and now it's going. So basically you can have your stop loss over here, and you can target those levels, you know, 1370 or something. That's where it's going to hit. So really nice setup, and it was a really expensive stock as well. So the next one is EVSI, not really looking pretty, but the pullback pattern here, the hunt pattern on the weekly, it's not looking bad, but this is too big a box. No trade here for now, but I'll keep it on the list. This is a classic example of a B trap. So we have a wave down and then B going up and probably C down. So it's kind of a rejection. Not really pretty at the moment, but could become a setup, so we'll leave it. Subex, okay, this was a really nice setup over here. Entry here, pulls back, another entry here, and it closes on green line, and that's it. That was a beautiful trade. But now it's gone, so we'll take it off the list. This one is setting up, so we have a 3 up, 4 down. That's it, 3 up, 4 down. Nice. Gator, sleeping, tight box, entry can be made 1320 or something like that, and target those levels for profits. Right, this is also a very nice setup, CLDX. So we've seen some very strong move, taking it from $3 all the way to 13, pretty strong, and those buyers are holding it, so it's going sideways, and now you have a tight box. So entry can be made anywhere above 1216. But these levels are too close. We'll see what it does then. Once the entry is in, you can take profits at 13 something. Okay, so EGO, it's done at 345. I can remove that from my list. Renew car. This has actually broken into a wave 5, and it's not something that I would trade, so we can delete that as well. This is looking very ugly, so we'll delete that as well. This was a pretty good setup. So we have a breakout here, then pull back, and that was the first entry somewhere in June, and then it pulls back, Gator sleeps. So this was a pretty good entry at 950. Target those levels. You had nice, lovely up to $12.14, which is these levels, and then after that the selling has become and price went down. So pretty good setup. Not a setup anymore, so I'll delete it from the list. INMB. Okay, so this is a parabolic kind of move, really strong up and then rejected down. This is not really a clear setup one. I don't know why it's even here, so we'll delete it. Okay, so this one is now finally setting up. It's because it went up too far too fast. There was a gap as well and all, so the chances of wave 5 happening up there are pretty slim, but we'll keep it on the list for now. This is now not a setup one. There's no wave 3, 4, no clarity. Delete that. This is also not a setup one. We'll delete that. This is not a setup one. We'll delete that. This is kind of looking kind of ugly. It's gone into those levels again. Don't want to keep it on the list. Okay, so this has a fake out, but it can come back and still create a setup, so we'll keep it on the list. This one can still set up. It could go sideways around those levels and get it go sleep and then probably set up later, so we'll keep it on the list. And that's the list that, you know, I'm going to go through further. And if I go to my screener, you can see I have 107 matches. So if I go through them one by one, like so, you see if I see this, it's gone up and down and it's highlighted already. So it's already on my list. I don't need to add it to my list. Otherwise, this was a setup one. So this one, I don't like the weekly chart of it, and I don't like the daily chart. So I will go to the next one, spacebar. This one could probably set up. So if I click on Alt W, it's going to add it to the list. So there you go. It's added to the list. Let me see. And so this is the process of adding it. So I can go through all of these 107 in probably about 10 minutes. And I might pick 6 or 7 which are potentially setting up. So what I'll be looking for is I want to see a clean gator on the weekly chart. And then I want something like this and not as strong a move. You know, if this pullback happened around here, then it's probably, you know, put AO to a gator to sleep, AO crossing zero line. So I'll be looking for those, and then I add them, and then I monitor them one by one. When I see them, when they get ready, the box is tight, gator is sleeping, and AO is at the zero line. We look for that breakout into the wave 5. That's the setup one. So that's what it is. I'm going to continue going through it, and I do this once a week. You can find hundreds of stocks into setup one, and setup one has about 66 to 70% win rate. If you take 1:1 or 1:2 and you follow that methodology, it's a very profitable strategy and very, very easy to learn that pattern. All you have to do is to download that book, the setup book. I'm giving it away for free. It's on my blog, and it's not going to be there for free all, because I keep, you know, I put it on there for a month, then I take it off. So I have put it on now. You can download the book, and it presents using the euro dollar on M1 and M5. We used to trade the euro dollar on M1 and M5. That book was produced in 2012, and it presents to you the idea of setup one using the 2 charts layout, something exactly like this. So although it's going to be teaching you about euro dollar M1 and M5, it's the same thing as trading D1 or D5. weekly and daily chart, or it could be hourly and 4-hourly chart. You can have any combination of that, and it works. And that's the same pattern, same setup one, you can apply to any time frame. So go on and download that book if you want to understand the setup one. And this is how I would look at my charts. So thank you for tuning in. And if you found value in this video, please hit the like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. And one more thing, the bell icon.